Today we travel to Nagaland to look closely at a story that tells us something fundamental about the relationship between people and the leaders they choose. We're focusing on the Pungro Kiphire constituency. Here, a single election result, a single number really, has revealed a deep, and I mean deep, crack in the foundation of political trust. So let's get right into it. First, let's place ourselves on the map. This is Pungro Kiphire. It's a scheduled tribe constituency, and like any place, its politics are shaped by its land and its people. To really get what happened here, you have to understand the community first. Everything that follows grows from this soil. So, here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll take the pulse of Pungro Kiphire, understand who lives there and what matters to them. Then, we'll act like doctors and diagnose the problem by looking at the hard election data. After that, we'll zoom out to see this isn't a new issue. It's a 20-year story. And finally, we'll look at a proposed blueprint, a possible cure for rebuilding what's been broken. Right. Section 1. Before we even think about votes, we have to think about voters. Who are the people of Pungro Kiphire? What do they hope for? What are their daily struggles? This is where the story really begins. Okay, the identity of this place is strong. It's built on the foundations of two dominant tribes, the Yumchinger and the Sangtam. And faith is central. About 88% of the population is Christian, and this really shapes the entire community life. But that strong cultural identity exists alongside some very real, very urgent problems. We're talking high unemployment, especially for the youth, and infrastructure that just isn't up to the mark. But here's the crucial part. The people here are not sitting back silently. They are politically engaged in a way that is truly remarkable. Look at this number. 92.5%. That was the voter turnout in the 2023 election. Let that sink in. This isn't just a statistic, it's a statement. It's a community showing up in full force, demanding to be seen, demanding to be heard. It shows an incredible faith in the democratic process, even if their faith in politicians might be wavering. It's a powerful call for better governance. So, with that incredible turnout, what message did the people of Pungro Kiphire send? Now we move from the people to the numbers. Let's decode the 2023 results because they tell a very dramatic story about trust, who still has it and who lost it completely. At first glance, the result seems straightforward. The ruling NDP-BJP alliance took home a clear majority, just over 53% of the vote. The rest was split among others. But the most interesting thing on this chart isn't the big bar, it's the bar that's missing, or, well, the bar that's at 0. 0%. That's what the Naga People's Front, the NPF, got. A party with deep historic roots in Naga politics, a major political force for decades. They didn't just lose, they didn't even contest. They received 0 votes because they had no candidate. Now, how on earth does that happen? How does a political giant just vanish from the field? The answer, it seems, lies in a powerful political illness we can call defection fatigue. You know what this is? It's that feeling of deep cynicism and resentment that builds up when voters elect someone only to see them switch parties after the election for their own gain. The voter's mandate is betrayed. This is more than just disappointment. It's a violation of trust. And it's important to remember, the right to make an informed choice is a cornerstone of our constitutional dignity. When a voter's choice is rendered meaningless after the fact, it erodes not just faith in a party, but faith in the very system. In Pungro Kiphire, that fatigue seems to have reached a terminal stage. Now, this collapse, this vanishing act, it wasn't a sudden event. This was a long time coming. If you look back over the last 2 decades, you can see the slow, steady decay of what was once an unshakable political stronghold. Just follow the numbers. In 2008, the NPF was king of the hill, with a commanding 57.3% vote share. Total dominance. 5 years later, in 2013, that share drops sharply to under 42%, and they lose the seat. By 2018, it shrinks again, down to almost 35%. You can see the pattern, right? A steady hemorrhage of support, election after election, driven by internal splits and leaders jumping ship. And this decline finally hits rock bottom in 2023, 0. So what we're looking at isn't just one bad election. It's a 20-year journey from absolute dominance to complete irrelevance. This slow-motion collapse didn't just hurt the party, it created a vacuum. A huge number of people were left feeling that no one truly represented their interests, feeding that deep well of cynicism about politics in general. So if the diagnosis is defection fatigue, what's the cure? How does any political group even begin to rebuild trust when you're starting from absolute 0? Let's turn now from the problem to a potential solution, a blueprint designed for this exact kind of challenge. The proposed framework is called the Chaturmukha Doctrine. Chaturmukha means four-faced, representing four distinct but connected pillars. The entire idea here is to make a fundamental shift away from the politics of personality and opportunism and toward a system that is built on integrity and is genuinely people-centric. Let's look at these four pillars. First, vision. It's not about promising roads and jobs, not at first. It's about positioning the party as the true guardian of the community's most sacred values, its tribal and Christian heritage. Second, systems. You have to fix the broken machine, rebuild the party from the village level up, and, this is key, demand a public pledge of loyalty from leaders, a promise not to defect. Third, the story. You have to frame the choice for voters clearly. This isn't just about Party A versus Party B. It's a narrative of integrity versus opportunism. And fourth, flow. This is about being smart with your resources. Instead of big, expensive rallies, you focus on high-impact, high-trust outreach through networks that people already believe in, like the church. Now, a strategy is just paper. It needs a person to bring it to life. And this doctrine requires a very specific kind of person. We're talking about an archetype, the faithful tribal leader. This isn't your typical politician. This person must come from the Yimchungar or Sangtam community. They must be an active, respected member of their church. They must have a clean record and, most importantly, absolutely no history of defection. Their focus must be on service and development. In short, a citizen leader, not a career politician. This leads us to what comes next. The goal here isn't just to win one election. It's bigger than that. It's about launching a mission to restore faith in the democratic process itself. A mission built not on promises, but on a foundation of solid, verifiable trust. And this trust is a two-way street. Under frameworks like India's DPEP Act, a leader has a responsibility to protect the privacy and personal data of their constituents. This isn't just legal compliance, it's a basic form of respect and a building block of that trust. This proposed slogan captures the entire strategy in just 6 words. It's powerful because it links the two things people hold most dear, their tribal identity and their Christian faith, directly to the promise of a better, more secure future. The message is simple and profound. Real governance, governance you can trust, must come from the community's own values. And so this entire case study leaves us with a very big question, one that matters far beyond the hills of Nagaland. In our current age, where cynicism about politics is so common, can a strategy like this, one built purely on integrity, grassroots organizing, and earning trust, actually win against the money and power of conventional politics? The answer that emerges from Pungro Kiphire could be a lesson for all of us. If you want to become a people-centric leader and uplift your constituency, get in touch with blueprintstrategies.ai at mgr@blueprintstrategies.ai or call 080-420-41602. Purpose beyond politics.